Today, it's one of those rainy days where it's just been drizzling all day long. The rain is tapering off, so I'm going to go ahead and make some steaks and potatoes. It's going to be a hot and fast cook on the Weber kettle. First thing we're going to do is get a fire started using the chimney and some Kingsford charcoal. So one of the things I do is I have a designated spot in my yard where I light my charcoal. Just a few simple stones that my chimney is placed on raises my chimney off the ground so I get better airflow while I'm lighting my charcoal. No special charcoal lighters, definitely not lighter fluid, just some junk mail packed inside of some packaging from a box of something I ordered off of Amazon, and that's all I use. I have a torch lighter that I use to light that junk mail. That first little wick there is just the wrapping from a stick of butter. It's wax paper basically, so it lights really easy and burns pretty well. Now I didn't use a full chimney because I don't need that much charcoal. I have some coals left over from a previous cook. The lit coals will go on top. Inside the house, I'm cleaning off my griddle top that I will be cooking the steaks on. And I am preparing the potato for a baked potato. This is a good sized russet potato, and it's wet because I do a good scrubbing on it, get all the dirt off, and we'll wrap this in some aluminum foil. Nothing special here, just a good wrap around the foil and then just folding in the ends of the foil. And today is going to be salt only. I have 3 New York strips, prime cut, and I'm just using some sea salt to flavor these. And it may look like I'm using a lot of salt, but trust me, these are about 1 inch thick, and the salt amount that I'm using on here actually came out really, really good. And definitely want to salt both sides. My coals are now ready, and these are going to go into the slow and sear right on top of those old coals. These new coals will light those old ones, bringing me up to a really good high temp. I'm going to put my baked potato on from the beginning. I want to achieve a nice high heat, so I'm going to open up the top and bottom vents as much as they can go. I want to have my temperature no lower than 350 degrees. First, I want to do a good swish back and forth and get as much ash that may be blocking my airflow out of the way, leaving that vent as open as much as possible. Now I'm at about 400 degrees here at 45 minutes. My baked potato has been on the entire time, and I'm going to insert my griddle top and get it nice and hot for my steaks. Now my steaks are not going to go onto the griddle top immediately, although you can do it that way. I'm going to reverse sear where I'll bring the temperature of the steaks up to about 100 internal before going onto the griddle top. So they're going on to the cool side of the grill, and they will cook in there for maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Just bring them to 100 degrees. So right now my baked potato's been on there for over an hour and a half because that's the longest part of this cook, and that was a really big, good sized baked potato. My temperatures range between 350 to about 400. My steaks are on right now. You saw that in the previous cut of the video when I put those on. The temp reached about 100, so now I'm going to sear them off on the griddle top. Now let's get a good sear on those steaks and put them onto the griddle top. And that's been in there for at least 15 minutes, getting really good and hot. And you can hear the sizzle on there. That's a really good sound. Let's turn them over, see what we got. Really nice char on there. Really nice crust being put on all the steaks. Now I've done this also without the cast iron griddle top, just putting them on over the open coals themselves. And that also gives nice griddle marks from the grill grates and also sears off just from the heat alone. And either way works really good, but today I'm using my cast iron insert. Now I'm going to probe for temp. I want these at about 120, no more than 125. That one's at 120, that's good. Go to the next one. We're reading about 122, that's also good. Same timing on all steaks, but this last one read higher than I really wanted it to, but it still came out good. It's possible that I pushed it all the way through to the cast iron. Everything is off the grill now. First thing I want to do is prepare my baked potato. I stir up my sour cream. Sometimes that separates, but let's unroll the foil. I want to make one nice long slit across the top. And that's going to be followed by 4 slits going 90 degrees to that on both sides of that baked potato. You'll see here in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. This gives some space for your butter to melt into. And if you like your baked potato with melted butter throughout, making those cross slits just gives that butter, when it melts, it goes right in there. Now I'm putting chives on the potato first, followed by some minced onion. Now I found out doing this first, when the butter melts, it will soften the chives and soften the minced onion. I find doing this way, the melted butter rehydrates the chives and the minced onion and releases much more flavor into the potato than putting the chives and minced onion on top. And also on top of that, I'm going to add some sour cream. You'll see here shortly. But the potato is really nice and soft, nice and hot. The butter's melting nicely, going into those slits that I made. And now a couple of dollops of some sour cream will complete the baked potato. And now for the star of the show, here we go with the steak. Now this did come out to a really nice medium. I'm going to give you a little peek here at the inside. Let's cut it in half. And you'll see that really nice pink reveal with just the edges being browned off. This came out really nice. There it is. If you like cooking your steaks to a nice medium, I recommend this method, using your thermometer to not overcook. So, like I always say, it doesn't make any difference if it doesn't taste good. Potato wasn't salted, so let's do a little table salt. Give a little taste. And that's soft. That is good. Good blend. And steak. I hope you can see the pink that's in there. Let's give it a taste. So that was a New York strip cooked on my Weber kettle, reverse seared. But instead of doing a reverse sear just over the coals themselves, I have that cast iron insert that I use. And the potato cooked for probably about 45 minutes or so. Then at that point, I put the cast iron griddle over the coals. So that was getting hot for at least another half an hour prior to putting the steaks on. And this is a good sized potato, so it needed all that time to really get cooked through and soft on the inside. Once that cast iron insert was ready and my steaks were roughly about 100 to 105 degrees, I just put them on the griddle top with a little bit of beef tallow. You saw in the video that I was putting something on there. I buy just beef fat and render my own tallow. And I put it in a mason jar, and I have a sealer for it so it can be vacuum sealed. And then I have it. And I use that to cook with from time to time. And I also use it when I'm wrapping briskets or any other type of barbecue that's beef or even pork sometimes. But putting a little bit on the griddle helps with the sear, I believe, gives a little added beef flavor and just really enriches the flavor, I believe. So I hope you like content like this. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. These are New York strips over the cast iron griddle, and a previous to over the cast iron griddle, just inside the Weber kettle, not over the heat, but on the cool side, for roughly about 5 to 7 minutes and then finished off on the griddle. And this is a really good cook. One of my favorite ways to make steak. You have a great day. I am not sponsored by Weber Kettles or any other products you may have seen in this video.